Yeah, in terms of the different parameters, why don't you want to talk about that? Because essentially what we're doing is we're just attaching that additional code onto the end of the URL. If we talk about source, how do you usually think about source, Ryan, when you think about source in terms of attributing or analyzing report, I should say, based on the source? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, and I always like to have pretty strong stances on these. So, because I've found over the years, trial by error, that if you say, well, you could use source this way, or this way, and give clients, or if you're internally, if you just like don't definitively agree on a definition, then people use it different ways, and this is how your reports become not useful. So I
Right.
always say, when in doubt, just use it as the brand. So you send traffic from Facebook as an ad or organic, the brand is the same. It's Facebook. If you use Active Campaign for your email provider, it's not email, it's Active Campaign,
Yeah.
etc. Do you agree with that one?
I agree with that 100%. I like to think about it like if you're thinking about traffic in general, it would be like kind of like what's the platform it's coming from. So if you shared something on Facebook and you tag that URL with UTM parameters, that would come across as Facebook if it was being posted on Facebook. If it was paid Facebook traffic, the same thing, because then you can look and just see exactly what's coming through from Facebook traffic. And maybe even going back into GA and showing how, if we were to look at the merchandise store, look at the different types of sources that they have in their traffic.
Should we see if they're doing it wrong? Which, sometimes
Yeah.
they do it wrong. They're not always right.
So yeah, what Ryan's showing is probably one of the most well used and important report and
Let's just look
valuable
at the source,
probably.
actually. Yeah, the source medium report is the built-in one, but let's just focus on the source to
Yeah.
start. Yeah.
So in this case, we have the bulk of users that are coming through are coming in direct. So there's a couple different ways for that traffic to be automatically tagged as direct traffic. That would be if one, probably the most obvious example or the most common example would be if somebody just typed it into their browser automatically. Another one would be a bookmark, as a for instance. Do you have any other thoughts on what causes Google or Google Analytics to code a source as direct, Ryan, other than direct or bookmark?
Yeah, that's probably mainly it. Sometimes I like to look at the landing page just to see, is it really the homepage? And then you would kind of associate, like, they probably are. Half of it's the homepage. So it's probably not just, a lot of people typing it in indirectly. Like we just did, and we technically did direct. Well, I guess we came from Google search because we were looking to find the homepage, this merchandise store. But oftentimes I usually suspect emails that aren't being tagged, especially with my clients. A lot of times it's not just like they send broadcasts. A lot of times
Mm,
their like app or their platform sends like, hey, a welcome series email after they sign up for a new app. And it's like programmatic. Like, yeah, they set it up at one point, but like that was maybe years ago. And so they never thought to add UTMs in that. So it's not like it's from their Active Campaign email platform.
yeah.
It's from their app or their system or whatever, where it's a little bit more of a technical setup, so to speak. But it's usually email, in my experience, is if there's like just loads of it, that plays some role of it, some portion of it.
But either way, whatever scenario it is, that is traffic that you really have no idea where it's coming from.
Exactly.
Like there's not a clearly defined source, as opposed to as this reloads and we can look at.
Yeah, I think some of the other ones in there. Let's go back to just looking at source. Yeah, so then we
Google
have Google and Bing.
partners, and then there's the tag assistant just with one user in one session. So in this case, the bulk of the traffic is untagged traffic in terms of source, at least. And if we look over to the right as well, I think this could be equally as important as interesting as if you were to look at the transactions and the actually, I don't even know if we really want to get into that right now.
Yeah, maybe we'll save that for another day, but
Yeah,
clearly like very useful to be able to not just see the people coming to the site, but also what are they doing? And, at least kudos to Google for not just setting up transaction goals. Like I can see engaged users, who knows what that means, but at least they're
right.
like thinking about it that way. Right. So that I think it could be useful because yeah, not all traffic sources are created equal. Not all traffic sources are meant to, make a transaction right away, at least. So